cold out. It's still a little bit chilly out, but IBO Winter Nationals is upon us. We're just a couple weeks out. I want to go down there and not embarrass myself. So my plan today is to look at a few targets and try to judge a little bit and just kind of knock the rust off. They say you got to see a lot of targets to judge good, so I thought, well, if I look at a few in the backyard here, maybe I can at least get maybe some baseline laid down before I go down there. This year I'm shooting the Lift X33, 300 feet per second, right on the dot. I've got a 3D target here. I don't have a bunch, just a couple old ones. And I'm just going to randomly walk back up the hill here somewhere and turn around and judge and shoot. Now I know a lot of the distances here because it's my yard, but it still helps to just kind of move around and guess, work on my ground game. So let's do it. Oh, upper, smoked it. You heard me call upper, right? 5 yards, got it, logged it. Let's move back. So without counting steps or paying attention to really where I'm at, I'm actually going to cut off. I normally shoot from up here, so I kind of know some of my marks. So I'm just going to kind of cut off here at an angle and just walk back up the hill right up here by this tree to start. I have a deer, a hog, a cat, and a thing, and then one in the back. They're all kind of in the general same area, so it's not like there's a lot of difference in distance, but you know, for mowing reasons I try to keep them all in one spot. Anyway, so I'm back here. This is still pretty close shot. It's probably different on camera, but this isn't real far. It's about 25 yards to that one down there, but I just want to verify that what I see is, I know it's like, well, I'm shooting IBO, by the way, so it's out to 45 yards. So I'm gonna be able to judge to 50 really. But the close ones count too. They all score the same. So, and what I'm not really doing too much ground game here. There's a wood burn pile between me and the target, and there's the ground changes everywhere you go. Every shot lane's different, so the ground's not super reliable for me. I rely mainly on depth perception, and that's kind of what I'm just going to work on today. It looks like 25. Looks inside 30 and looks outside 20. So I get 300 feet per second. Can't miss. 25 on the slider. Now that we're backed up, I'm just going to go center 10 because we're shooting IBO, so that's what we're doing. Watch out, tree. Smoked it. A little to the right, but we're in there. I assume my scale's pretty good. I'll put a click on it just to see. It's 25 on the dot. Let's take a walk. So I'm going to kind of zigzag back the other way. Just kind of because I'm going to shoot a different target now. So I'm going to come around over here, a flat-ish spot. Can you guys still see, I hope? Okay, so we're backed up a little bit here. I'm going to shoot at that hog down there in the bottom. If you can see it, it's to the left of the wood pile now. Just looking at the hog, no groundwork, no nothing. I'm just looking at it. It looks outside 30. It looks inside 40. I'm usually work pretty hard in the summertime on landmarking my major milestone or major distances like 20, 30, 40. So I'm pretty good at placing the target somewhere in those brackets, and then the fine tuning skills they come as the year goes on, I hope. So it looks definitely outside 30. It looks close to 35, but it looks inside 40. I'd probably shoot this for like 36. I feel like it's slightly closer to 40 than it is 30. So I'm gonna go 36. It's a 10, probably bottom of the 10. Looks like it needed a yard. It probably comes in at a 37, 38, 37. So I was a yard shy on that, not too bad. Still solid 10. You know, sometimes you can still score even if you're a yard shy or a yard hot. I mean, a strong shot, a lot of times it just for some reason the arrow can find its way behind your pin, even if you don't have the exact number on it. But it's a good 10 and yard shy. I like to think that I'll polish that out as the year goes. So I got one over here to the left. Let's shoot at that. It's not trip and fall. I'm going to step down here in the woods just a little bit to the edge just to give it a little bit of distance. So this one looks a little further. It gets into the more difficult range for me. Usually everything after 40 gets a little more sketchy, critical. My depth perception, just looking at it, I think I'd put 42 on this. Now I'm going to look at the ground on this one because I do have ground, and I'm at distance. I try to add any factor in I can. Any information that I can gather, I'm going to take. And just a quick scan of the ground, just scanning back and forth. I would put my 40 a couple of steps in front of it. So I feel like 42 is probably a pretty good number. I'm just going to go ahead and roll with that. What I don't want to do, I've talked to my buddies about this. What I don't like to do is what they call second guess. And the problem is, if you don't shoot what you see, your brain will never fix it. So if you go to a stake and you say, man, it looks like 35, but it could be 38, and I'm not sure, so I'll Kentucky windage this, and I'll put this number on it, and I'll hold here, and I'll stand on one foot, and I'll do this, and then you end up changing your mind at full draw, and you're changing your mind throughout your whole process. Whether you hit it or you miss it, there's no information. You get nothing out of that. No feedback. The best thing to do that I've found is look at it. What does it look like? Put that number on your sight and shoot it. Right or wrong. If it's right, it confirms that what you've seen was it. And if you're wrong, then it allows your brain to make that adjustment. You know, when I say it looks like 42 and I shoot it, pow, and I shoot it up high for an 8 high over the 10, my brain immediately adjusts and looks at that ground, looks at that target, and says, oh, that wasn't 42, that was only 40, that was right at 40, maybe 39. And I got better at judging right there in that moment. My brain made that adjustment. But if you play those games of like, I'm so afraid to miss that I'm going to do all these things to try to minimize my misses, your brain never learns. You never get better. Shut up and shoot, Eric. Okay. Lube tube. Check. These winter targets sometimes are a bit firm. I'll leave my hair all winter. Okay, so we picked 42. I got 42 on the scale. Let's see where we're at here. Center 10, baby. Looks like we smoked it. Oh, that's a dime. Looks like a right side 11. I'm hitting right on everything. Quick little riff here. Pull my shot back to the left. Okay, without moving, and if you can see down this tree line, I'm gonna move you around. I have another target down here with its front leg and a tire. I don't know if you can see that. It doesn't have a front leg, so the tire is its bionic foot. I'm gonna go ahead and judge and shoot that because we're right here. It's a bigger body animal. I'm thinking about 42. I'm gonna leave the same number on it because it looks the same, but you know, now I want to know if it is or if it's just messing with me. It looks like it's inside 45, but it looks like it's just a step outside 40 to me. And a step means 41, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put 41 on it. See if my brain is seeing it. That's a dime. That's absolute dime. Now, this is my backyard, so there is, you know, repetitive muscle memory in my judging here. You know, as I walk around and judge, there's only so much I can fool myself, if you will. But the visual reps are still important. It's still good to get out and see these targets and kind of remember, even the ones you know, just remember what they look like, because that's going to help carry over at IBO. And we get the defense course to work on our game prior to going out, but it's good to get a little bit of the rust knocked off at home, I think. I got one arrow. Let's go deep. Okay, we're up here next to the house now. A little more sunshine, that feels good. And the target pile is down over the hill. And I've got the cat on top of the target bag. We're going after it. Now, this is an angle that I don't normally shoot at these targets. Normally I'm down here along the tree line. So this changes some things. Makes me have to actually judge the target. Also, if you can see this pond, there's a rock pile right here. And it's just enough that it takes my vision of the ground away to the bottom of the little hill there. And then all I can see is the ground from out midway to the target. So the ground game's going to be, it's going to be kind of skewed, unreliable. Whenever there's anything in the way for me, like a log or a ditch or anything that messes up the ground, if the ground's not one solid path to the target, it throws me, and I think a lot of people. So I don't rely on it. I'll look at the information down there, but it's a lot of depth perception at that point. So I'm just looking at this target and trying to get it in that bracket. And right now I can just immediately tell you it's outside 40, so I've got it in my 40 to 50 bracket right out of the gate. I'm trying not to use any other 3D targets to bounce off of to get to that target. Like on a course, you're not going to have that. You're only going to have trees and whatever else is out there. So I'll use any other object. Like I'm going to use that stump down there. I'm just kind of looking at that stump and seeing what I'd shoot that stump for. And I'd probably put 40 on that stump. Again, I'm relying on ground game here a little bit. It's not so much ground game, it's depth perception to the stump and then depth perception to the target. It's outside 40, inside 50. I'm going to say, I feel like it's a touch closer to 50. I'm going to go 47. I like 47. Let's just send it. We're lubed up. Let's set our sight. Let's send one. We hit it, it sounded closer than what it looked. That is an absolute dime. Okay, I'll be honest, I wasn't super confident at full draw with that one. I'm like, well, we'll learn our lesson here on this shot, but it hit right at the exact elevation. It still hit a little bit right. I got to feather some stuff out of my sights here, but my scale seems good. My shot feels good. My numbers look like they're pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and click that just to verify. I felt like it was a good shot, but I want to kind of make sure my scale is good and it's hitting where I think it's hitting. 47 right on the dot. So it's time to pull these arrows, see our scores. I'm not going to do it in particular order. I'm just going to run through these real quick just so you guys can see where these arrows hit exactly. Now my targets aren't Reinhardt. It's kind of a mix of just old range targets I got super cheap from clubs that were upgrading and throwing out old targets. I kind of eat those up. Targets are expensive. So real quick, let me run through these to see what we got. Scorecard ready? Okay. On the hyena here, we got a 10, just right of the 11. You can move that sight. So that's a 10. Moving down to the bedded doe here, we got an 11 just on the right side. Still need to make a little adjustment. Pull one up. Okay, moving over to the deer. This was our first shot, 25 yards, right side, 11 ring. We'll take that. It's the only easy one I had. Okay. Well, that's 2 up. Now I'm moving over to the hog. No rings on this. I kind of play that tan area as my 10 ring, and I just kind of guess how I would have scored. I'd say it's fair to say that would have been a 10. Bottom side under the 11. Okay, and last but not least, on top of the range bag, we have the cat. And it is also a 10, just right to the 11. So there you have it. We went 2 out of 5 in the 11 ring. I'm pretty happy with that. All my yardage distance was pretty good. Again, it's my backyard, so you know that's big advantage. I kind of know. I've looked at these targets for a while, but I'm excited to get to IBO and get out there on the hunter defense course and look at some targets and shoot them. Oh, hey, and just a reminder, if you like bows, I like bows, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and I'll make some more videos. See you next time.